Hello, everyone. Welcome to this journey from becoming something to just being life. Welcome to MadMan. Hello. Thank you for tuning in, guys. So, today I'm going to share my near death experience, and I think it's going to be an interesting topic for you guys. So, the year was 2015 December, right? I had just come back from doing my high school in India, and December is a cold month in Nepal, right? So that particular day, around 9 a.m. in the morning, I went into the bathroom to take a shower. Now, in Nepal, the only access we have to hot water is mostly through solar water heater, right? And even that, if the previous day we had like good sunlight, then we have like proper access to hot water. If there was no sunlight the previous day, there is no access to hot water, right? So since hot water was not readily available, my father had recently installed this thing called gas geyser. So what gas geyser does is it's literally connected to a gas cylinder, right? So when you turn it on, it puts a fire, and there is an iron pipe that passes through that fire, and when the water passes through that iron pipe, the water is heated. So that's how it heats the water, right? So it's using a lot of oxygen, and in order to properly use it, there needs to be a proper ventilation in the room, because there has to be a flow of air. So usually, as far as I know, there is no proper ventilation in the like bathrooms beside the window itself. So if you have to use something like gas geyser, you have to open the window. So I remember going into the bathroom, and the window was slightly open. It was a cold morning, so I was getting like cold air inside the room, right? So my instant reaction was to close the window. I closed the window without realizing what the consequences would be later on. So I started taking shower. It was a hot shower, and usually when I'm taking shower, I'm singing and dancing, so I'm making a lot of noise. I was doing the same that day. I finished taking the shower, and I remember the room was barely visible because it was full of water vapor. The window was closed, and it was full of like hot water vapor. So I finished taking the shower. I grabbed the towel, and as I was wiping my body with that towel, I slowly started leaning onto the wall. So that's the last thing I remember. I slowly started leaning onto the wall and going down on the floor. So after that, in my experience, there was a pitch dark sky full of stars. I mean, I don't know if they were literally like sky and stars, but in my experience, it was something like that. So the next time I opened my eyes, I saw some nurses walking around in a hospital. So my instant reaction was, this has to be a dream. I was just taking a shower, and how could I just end up in a hospital, right? That was my first thought. So since I thought it was a dream, I started poking myself and pulling my hair to get out of that dream, you know? So after I did that, I was instantly rushed to another room, and I passed out again. Next time I opened my eyes, I overheard my mother talking to someone on the side. So the another person was asking my mother what had happened, like how did it happen? And my mother was like, I don't know, he had gone into the bathroom to take a shower, and when we opened the door, he was lying on the floor. So then it clicked me, like, oh, I had gone into the bathroom to take a shower. Something must have happened with me, but I still wasn't sure what had actually happened, and I passed out again. So next time when I opened my eyes, I was more energetic than before. So I could actually like get up from the bed, right? So as I was trying to get up from the bed, I realized that I had oxygen mask and so many other small pipes attached to my body. So I couldn't completely get up. And that time I was pretty sure that I was admitted to a hospital, but I still wasn't sure what had actually happened. And after that, I was given some food, and since I was already very energetic and I could easily get out of the bed and walk and all those things, I was discharged the very night, right? Now, this is from my point of view. This is what happened from my point of view. Now, let me tell you what happened from my family's point of view. So, my mother somehow knew that I had gone into the bathroom to take a shower. Now, I think a little after that, two of my friends came to my house to ask my mother if I was interested in going to a picnic that was going to happen the next day. So if I was to go to the picnic, we had to give them 1200 rupees. So my mother was like, okay, let me ask Anis if he wants to go, right? So she came to the room, and to her surprise, I wasn't there. But the last thing she remembered was me going into the bathroom. And usually, when I'm in the bathroom, she knew that I make a lot of noises, right? So she tried to open the bathroom door, but it was locked. So she was sure that someone was inside. She knocked on the door, but no one answered. So instantly, she freaked out and she called my brother. Now, only my brother and I knew how to sneak into that room through the bathroom. It was our parents' room, and so my brother and I used to frequently sneak into that room through the bathroom window to sometimes get some money or whatever, right? So my mother, in panic, told my brother, and he went into the bathroom through the window just to find me lying on the floor. Now they freaked out and they called some people from the neighborhood, and through the help of all those people, I was taken out of the house, right? My mom, in panic, called my father, who was around like 10 to 12 minutes away at work, and he rode back home. And the first thing he did was gave me mouth to mouth respiration. And so one of my uncles from the neighborhood literally stood in the middle of the road to stop whatever car or taxi that comes next. There was a taxi approaching with two passengers, and when my uncle told them like what had happened, two passengers were willing to get out, and I was rushed into that car and taken to the nearest hospital. And I was admitted to the hospital. They started giving me oxygen and whatever they have to do, right? And the doctor told my parents that if I was a few minutes late, then I won't be able to survive. And in this case, mostly 80% of the people die. So I was one of the lucky ones in the remaining 20% who actually survived. So when I look back, if those two people didn't come to my house to ask if I wanted to go to the picnic the next day, if my brother did not know how to sneak into the bathroom, and if that taxi hadn't come at that time, then the result would have been something else. But because those three things happened at perfect time, I'm speaking here today as a madman. So thank you for listening to me, guys. I really enjoyed sharing this story to you guys. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your love and support. If you want to buy helpful books, just go to www.hellomadman.com. Thank you.